Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Today we have an exciting image. It's a spooky image for a Spooktober thumbnail for the YouTube video Potato, Potahto, and it's going to be a series of spooky games for the month of October because, I mean, come on, it's the month of Halloween. It's a lot of fun. Everybody likes a good scare every now and again. Well, almost everybody. Spooky games are pretty rough, especially with all the jump scares, but this one's pretty fun. And here you can see me like working on the feet here. I'm having a hard time with it. I don't know why. Just sometimes things bug you. So I just duplicated that layer and then transformed it and flipped it over to the other side. It's just for a thumbnail. I don't think anybody's really going to notice that the feet are completely symmetrical or identical. So I'm just going through and I'm just, putting in my lines, nothing major right now. The main thing to take exception of is I don't vary my line weights too much. I did a little bit on the door, but mostly you'll see it right on Potato and the hand that's coming up from the basement within the basement, and snatching him up. This is actually sort of the image from the beginning screen for the game, and I I was sitting there kind of brainstorming, trying to figure out what I was gonna draw, and I just thought, why not just start at the beginning, you know? And which I did, and I took a concept from later on in the game and added it, because I mean, this obviously isn't what you're gonna see at the beginning screen, but this is the setting that you see in the beginning screen. So I really liked it, and I had a lot of fun actually doing this painting because it's kind of a spooky one. You can make your lines a little more off kilter and just less precise and exact. And you see, I added a little bit more line weight to the box down there. The box is important to the story. It's actually the main reason our protagonist ends up in the basement. All right, so here I'm doing my typical thing. I'm just slapping in some colors and just seeing what may come of it. And I tried to start out with warm colors because I think they draw more attention, especially in a YouTube thumbnail. But you'll see eventually I make some changes. I wasn't too happy because I'll put in my colors for Potato here soon, and it just wasn't working for me. Now here we go. I'm starting to put in my colors. I'm slapping in reds and browns and purples, and just trying to get a lot of variation and variety in there. And at first I was thinking, well, maybe I should have him be cooler colors so he'll stand out from the background. But it's kind of hard to make a potato that's all blue and purple and everything. I was like, I'm gonna have to add some yellows and browns to him for like the highlights and whatnot. So you see me work in the background, and I get frustrated at some point, and I'm like, well, I got to start adding some cools. This isn't working, so I kind of do tentatively. I'm not quite there yet, and you'll see um, here pretty soon. Yeah, see, I'm starting to add some cooler colors in there because I know something's not working. I don't know exactly what it is, so I'm still just playing around. It's still pretty early on in the painting phase for me. Like this, my total work time was maybe an hour and a half from doing those lines to actually painting. So it might have even been a little bit less than that. So you're seeing it, sped up for fairly quickly. And I'm trying to work my way into this basement, and my colors are way too saturated and way too dark, and they draw way too much attention. And I'm eventually going to change that. And I know it, like in the back of my head, I know it doesn't feel quite right yet. And that's how most of my paintings go. My drawings and my paintings, I just kind of wing it and see what happens. I have a kind of a general idea of what I want, but nothing, absolutely nothing is set in stone once I start working. It's just all up in the air. I just know that I need to get my values correct. If you get your values correct, it doesn't matter. I would say technically it doesn't really matter what colors you paint with. If your values are correct, your painting will work. I mean, it's not going to be the best painting in the world. or it may be, it depends on how you handle your callers, if you get lucky or whatnot. But I'm just sitting here trying to figure it out as I go along, playing with a few things here and there. Basically, I'm just kind of buying time, like I'm fidgeting around with that shadow over there and knowing that something's not working. So then I just go ahead and jump to something else. I'm like, I'll just do something else and let my brain is like cranking away at the problem in the background. There I was checking my values because I didn't like that area, like the potato and the hand and the box in the background, just all kind of felt like it was blending together. Although I end up not changing that box because I do make some other changes and I think that it works later on. So I'm just going through, kind of cleaning up, working around the potato because I'm pretty sure he's not going to change much. If anything else, like right now, I'm thinking, it's just going to be like more saturation and some extra colors or something thrown on top of it. Nothing that's like any big deal. There we go. There was a change. Sorry, I actually forgot to record. It happens fairly often. I take a little break to get a drink or whatever, and I come back and I just start working without hitting the record button. But I was like, okay, I want the potato to stick out more, so I got to make the background cooler. That's the only way that I'm going to get him to pop out more, which he does. And I'm sitting here, you saw me playing around with it, how cool or how dark I want it to be. And eventually I just have to make a decision and run with it, which I do. I tend to do that a lot. Like I'll sit there and try to figure something out and I bounce back and forth and eventually I get frustrated. I'm just like, screw it. I'll just do it and see what happens. Like that hallway back there. That hallway was just too intense. Like there was too much contrast. It was pulling too much attention. So I kind of just took a brush over all of it and kind of faded it all kind of together in the background. And I'll make some more changes eventually, but I had to do something that that was bugging me too. That seems to be the story with my drawings. I just start doing whatever the heck I feel like doing, and things bug me, and I eventually change them. So you see, I made a bunch of like vertical lines there on that door to look like actual planks of wood, and I'll do more with it eventually. But for now, I kind of left it there. So I'm still going through working things, and I realize I need more light, and there we go. Like I gotta have a light source so I can add some more interest to Potato and to the arm that's coming out and grabbing him. And this is an image, like I said, this is an image from the game itself. It's the starting menu, and they have that light there. They also had like some hooks and stuff too, which I was thinking about putting in there, but it got too busy, so I left those out. I'm just going in and kind of doing some of the highlights and details. Because I don't want to get this too rendered out. It's going to be for a thumbnail. It's going to be pretty small, so there's no sense in making everything perfect and blending all my paint lines in together. Just going through and I'm adding like some shadows to where the walls meet, where the ceiling and the wall meets, and the floor and the wall. That way, the image itself has a little bit more depth. And here I am working a box. You'll notice it has yellow tape on it. That's one of the main critical things of this video game at the very beginning anyways. It's kind of what gets our protagonist into his mess that he's dealing with. And it's a spooky video. Like there's good jump scares. It's a lot of fun. If you guys are looking for some fun spooky games, try to play The Door in the Basement. Or better yet, you can always come over to the channel Potato, Potahto, and you can watch the videos there. There will be a few more scary videos before the end of the month, and maybe more later on, depending on if people show they're interested in them. So I think we're about done. You saw I just bumped up saturation. That way everything sticks out a little bit more. And I'm adding some, I wanted to add like some scum to the walls, because he is in a basement. Basement walls tend to get a little musty and dusty, a little bit gross. And I'll add some more to the floor, but that about does it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed, maybe learned something. If you would, please leave me a like or a comment, possibly subscribe. I hope everybody had a fantastic day. Y'all take care. Bye bye.